Live. Welcome, everybody. I will check we are live for this podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Let me get this baby put up in there. Come on, squeeze her up. Yep. All right. I don't want to even touch that. It looks like it's about where I want it to be. Let's see. I could do a little bit higher. I will check it in a sec, but welcome everybody who's on. Let me check out the sound, get it loaded. We monitor comment. Hey, Sean Wills, good to see you. What you sipping on tonight? Hey, Caroline, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I did leave a message, so my wife asked me. I said I left a message, but it would be cool if we can arrange. But we'll talk a little bit tonight about the bus tour. This was gonna I don't know. I have no idea what but it looks like it's going to be a 2-bus tour. And then, Greg, I don't know what your plans are, but it's like you and Susan are invited to come. I mean, you should. You guys should come. But let me know. You might have things in the works. I know that. Kind of waiting to see what happens with that. Now, let's just check out YouTube real quick, make sure that the sound's working. It looks like my microphone's on, but you never know. And then you hit that, hit that. There we are live. Hit this. I'm going to check that. Now, let's just check out. Yep, sounds good. Hey, Tater. Tater Dom, good to see you. Let me do the thing. Welcome to the chat. Let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on tonight. We monitor the comments, so have fun and drink along. All right. Thank you, Tater. That's good to know. Let's see. Dom, yes, we'll put it over here. I will monitor the YouTube comments off site. So we're ready to go there. So let's do the fun part now that everything has been properly done. I even I poured myself a pre-pour for the Kentucky Brewers. I believe we could fill at least 3 to 4 large 40 to 50 bedroom. Let's take it to Ohio. Yeah, okay. So, Greg, we go to distilleries. That would be it would be a blast to fill a couple, but distilleries can't they can't handle more than about 30 people. So the 2 buses at 28 people is what we cut it off at. I probably could push it. That would be something, but the 14 was last year. This year we're going to go to 28, and it looks like we're getting some good. What would you say? We're getting some good feedback on that. It looks like already 22, 23 spots are filled up, and I'm still talking to a bunch of people. They're not putting in. Sean Willis is drinking Heaven Hill grain to glass weeded. That's pretty cool. Let's connect. Yes, Caroline, let's connect tomorrow. That sounds really good. All right, so just quickly, I'm going to put this out here. Whiskey Thief Distilling Company, Middle West Spirits, Spirit of French Lick. Our 3 main sponsors, Rosewood Bourbon and Rye. Those also are there. Jason Giles, he is fantastic. What he's done, he has combined Kentucky, Indiana, and Texas to produce some really, really good bourbon. He has it sourced and he's distilling and things are going. But if you ever see a bottle of Rosewood Bourbon or Rye, pick it up because at the moment it's temporarily not being filled. He's working on that, working out deals, moving and grooving, but that is some fantastic bourbon. We've got Whiskey Thief Distilling Company now with their new location in Louisville in the Nulu area. Fantastic tasting room, plus their main Three Boys Farm Whiskey Thief Distilling Company distillery right out there in Frankfort, Kentucky. Fantastic, fantastic experience. It's a barrel pick at both places all day, every day, but the but the distillery, when you're out there, it's a working distillery. The pot still's there. They give you a tour. You taste out of barrels, and afterwards there's a food truck with a fantastic chef producing fantastic food. Plus, there is live music on the Fridays and Saturday nights, I believe. And they basically have, you know, they've got cornhole, they've got fire pits, they've got the whole thing for relaxing. Sit back, smoke a cigar. There's no hurry to get out of there. So, um, classic. Yes, Greg, with there's a will, there's a way. And if you become part of helping me out, I'm sure the two of us together would be kind of cool. All right. So all right. Then we've got Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. They are producing fantastic whiskey at the moment. Their Miquelon line of cast strength and small batch bourbons and ryes are fantastic. Their pumpernickel rye is fantastic, and then also they've got some finished bourbons that are just unbelievable. They are killing it. They're running both their main distillery and their craft distillery. And then if you stop in right now where you can get a tour of the craft distillery, they have the service bar, which is a restaurant with fine food. And it's just a great place to stop by if you're in the Columbus area. Once they get their main experience up and running, it'll be unlike anything in Ohio and compete with everything in Kentucky. We are talking 3 restaurants. You're talking shopping. I mean, the whole thing. It's unbelievable that this is going in Columbus, Ohio. Then we have the Spirit of French Lick down there in French Lick, Indiana. If you're ever in that area, you got the Spirit of French Lick, you got uh, Old Homestead, and you got okay, come on, Starlight Distillery. It's a great Indiana trip when you're down there, but you got to stop in at the Spirit of French Lick. That's Alan Bishop's old home before he went to Old Homestead, but his whiskey is still for sale. This here, the Lillian Sinclair, it won first place in the uh, under 3 year or under 4 year bourbons, and it was fantastic. It was under 4 year bourbons, won gold for that. And this is the Lillian Sinclair that Alan and Walker and Jamie we all picked out, and we did this pick with Alan the last time that he was at the distillery before he left to go to Old Homestead. Then Alan Bishop, make sure you check him out because Alan has a great YouTube channel called One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. If you are interested in any part of distilling, home distilling, commercial distilling, he answers questions and he is transparent as it gets on all the questions. So it's fantastic. Plus, check out his podcast, which I enjoy thoroughly. If you have ghosts, you have everything. It's mixing the best of the spirits world with the best of the spirits world. So you are talking about taking ghosts and mixing them and how they fit into distilleries and all the eerie time that has passed and all the different stories that have gone through. And he covers it all on if you have ghosts, you have everything. All right. So we got that out of our sponsors. We're getting ready to start tonight, everybody. Jack Daniels triple malt, triple mash. This is Jack Daniels triple mash. I got a lot on that. That's what we're doing tonight. Let me take a sip and I will get this podcast going. Hey, hi from Carrie from Georgia. Good to see. Ola, hit like and subscribe. Yeah, that's for sure. I'll get up to that. Thank you. Thanks for the comment on the setup, everybody. Is sock? No, sock is it sock whiskey? No, it is not. And decent amount of people on tonight. Show TV. Angel Green. Woo, they got Dustin. Yeah, all right. So keep commenting, everybody. Good morning from Fiji. That's all right. We are on it. John Glaubert's best Jack Daniels in my opinion is 2020 Heritage Rye. I'm not a huge rye fan there, John. So that's not really kind of my thing. This I actually my dad. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that. But let's get this podcast going. You will hear a brief silence that I got to go by because I'm going to be playing an ad that you won't hear. So, and then you'll hear our theme song and get this podcast rolling. Welcome, everybody. Just hang in there. We're starting right now. Really? What is going on? Hold on, folks. I'm going to get this. That doesn't make any sense. Let's try that. There it is. Drinking bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We did it a while, but it sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking everything. Man, talk some shit, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys. Raising my hand, making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys. We really have fun. Woo! All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here tonight, and just Tiny here tonight. We got a lot of people watching on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, everybody. www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Also, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, and it looks like real soon I'm going to start back up the TikTok channel. It looks like that because once it's American owned, I'll be right back on there. And then we are on all the major podcast formats, Apple, iHeart, Spotify. You listen to it, we're on it. So check us out there. And remember, no matter how you watch or listen, you got to like, comment, subscribe, leave good feedback, and like, listen, comment, and subscribe, and leave good feedback. We love what you guys do. We just keep getting bigger and bigger on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's just great. So tonight we are covering a couple things. All right, Michael's drinking Dalmore 50 year. I mean, that's an expensive one. Guess what? Okay, and what do you call liquor? I'm gonna ask that question. What do you call liquor in Fiji? So, and then JJ even said we're talking also tonight about beginner bourbons, and I've got my beginner bourbons over here, and I've always had a thought on that, and so tonight we'll just go over that. What you're going to give somebody who you know, and JJ says he likes to say that Evan Williams Bottled in Bond is a great beginner bourbon because it's under 20 and it's a really good bourbon. But I agree. Good, that's a really good bourbon. But as far as beginner bourbons, we'll get into what I think a beginner bourbon is. and was or will be. So it's really kind of cool. And so the best thing about this, some of each went into similar, or is it a different man? Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. It's nice of Randy to say what it is, but I actually have on my wait, I hope I yes, I do. I have my iPad with all the information on triple mash because triple mash excites me. Let me finish. So John Ritt tonight made a post right before the podcast, and he's watching the podcast, but he was drinking on some William Dalton. So I put a little bit of our barrel pick in there, and just to go over real quick, we have the Lillian Sinclair still available for our barrel picks. So contact me anytime. I'm in the middle of trying to move a couple of them because it did win gold at New Orleans. So that's really kind of cool. And then also we have our William Dalton, which I have right now. And that is a 6-year and it's fantastic. So decent whiskey. So I'm going to drink that up right now. I have my water and everything. So tonight, this is going to be a fun one. I think what I'll do is cover the single mash, and then we'll go into the beginner bourbons. That's like, this way we got everything. Greg definitely has that JD. I will say that when it comes to Jack Daniels, just was there and got to taste and got a tour. We definitely have been invited back for an insider kind of podcast from there with the master distiller, Sherry Moore. Hooked us up with just us. It was more, we were on vacation, so we were on our way down to Florida and stopped in on a Sunday. We got the tour, set up the tour, got the tour guide, did everything, got to see the grounds. The grounds are kind of special. So hey Walker, all I'm gonna say tonight is it seems like there's a couple Russian comments on YouTube. If you could just pop in and translate them, that would be kind of cool to be able to talk to somebody from Russia. We got Fiji, Russia. I mean, it's like we got it covered tonight. So the Jack Daniels triple mash though we did the tour, and what's cool about it is it's mostly Jack Daniels is a process. You get to see uh, uh, the Lincoln County process, which is the running the still, what comes off the still, and dripping it through like 8-foot wooden cypress vat of charred maple wood. And then you get to also see where they char the maple wood and then show how they do it and what it does. And because it's actually bourbon, because it's not adding anything, it's subtracting, it's filtering, it's making better. So, kind of cool. Is that what okay, so classy set. Okay, so anyways, it's just like we're gonna get so already who on you guys on YouTube. This is a whiskey podcast, not a political podcast. It's like if you make let's not have an argument over politics on the podcast. Everybody sip out their stuff and sip on it and just relax because this isn't the place to do it. That's for sure. But when I was there, and this is really it's the triple mash part of the website. That's what I'm looking at. But when I was there, got to see where they get their water. You get to see that, but it comes from a spring, from a cave that they can't find the bottom. That's really kind of cool. Greg says he knows JD very well. Yeah, Brown and Foreman, they make an awful lot of whiskey. I mean, Jack Daniels is the number one American whiskey there is. And it's by a lot. Now, I will say Jim Beam is catching up. Jim Beam is down, whatever. But when you're talking about in the world, I think Jack Daniels is 6th and Jim Beam's like 11th. but I think Jim Beam has been catching up. Jack Daniels has fallen off a little bit. One of the reasons why it's so popular is because what happened. It was the cool bourbon or cool Tennessee whiskey to drink in the 60s, 70s, and 80s because of it's what Frank Sinatra drank and the Rat Pack drank it. It's what Dean Martin drank. And Jackie Gleason started it all. I mean, it's just I mean, these are facts that I've known for a while. My dad was a huge, huge Jack Daniels fan. And I spent my whole child age or young adult age trying to drink Jack Daniels with them. And anybody who knows how the whiskey drinking works, when you're younger, your taste buds are a certain thing. So a certain way, and you can appreciate whiskey, but not the way you can appreciate them as you get older. You're drinking for a different reason when you're younger. I mean, I think I had at my stag party that my dad and all of his friends were at, and all my friends were at, I want to say I had 14. No, it was 12. 12 shots of Jack Daniels, which didn't stay down. That I got home and it just came right. That was it. It was one of those times. There's been just a couple times. So I usually just would um deposit it in the someplace else other than in my stomach. But yeah, so I know Jack Daniels really well growing up. I 1996, I think, after they talked about it, 90, I want to say maybe 1990, whenever the first single barrel came out, I bought it when they were releasing it. It was at Sam's Club, and I got a single barrel for my dad. He didn't like it. He liked Old Number Seven. He always has liked Old Number Seven. But when we went to the distillery, I had already had a bottle of their Bottled in Bond series. I've got the Bottled in Bond, and I had the triple mash. And honestly, the Bottled in Bond is a little bit better than the regular Jack Daniels, in my opinion. There's no doubt about it. And then there is let's see, Puka the best. Okay, so then there's, once you got the single barrel, um, you fast forward, and then the bonded came out, which is good, but the triple mash came out, and it was something that was no longer something that I endured. I think that's the reason why I had to endure Jack Daniels as a young adult. I figured out every way not to taste it, to drink it, sip it through the shot, and not try and taste it. It was too hot and whatever. Now it's not hot, but there's an aspect of it that reminds me of everything that I tried to do as a kid to work around what my dad liked. It wasn't my thing, but I like to do things with my dad, so it was fine. So so Randy is gonna switch to Sinatra. I've had Sinatra, I've had single barrel, I've had barrel strength. I do like Jack Daniels barrel strength. There's no doubt about it. Had two bottles, fantastic. Some of their single barrels are good, but they're not great to me. But then you've got when we were there, we got the Jack Daniels 86 proof, which now it got changed in the 80s to 80 proof, but that 86 proof, and we got to taste that. I actually have a bottle of the 86 proof. I bought a bottle of the 80 proof, left it with my dad. I brought the 86. I took that back, but I also took the triple mash with me. And the triple mash again, the first time I had it, I thought it was fantastic. And this time I had it again. I bought it at the distillery at the White Rabbit Bottle Shop 2025. So this is the newest one. And we're going to barrel bash this tonight, or not barrel bash. We are going to we're going to barrel bottle break down this Jack Daniels um, triple mash. But before we do that, I'm going to give you a little rundown. I've got the rundown on bourbon. Okay. On let's see, on Breaking Bourbon. All right. So Jack Daniels triple mash blended straight whiskey. So it's really kind of cool. It's blended of straight whiskeys, so they have to be, I believe, to be straight. You got to be older than, I want to say, oh, but this is bottled in bond. So not only it's got to be older than 4 years. There is no age stage statement, so they're all older than 4 years because it's bottled in bond. Comes from the Jack Daniels Distillery. It was started in May 2022, and it's been released. This is the 2025. I believe it was 39.99. It's reasonably priced. One of the things that the bottled in bond Jack Daniels, and I did a podcast on this, but their 200 milliliters, um, their 200 milliliters bottles were introduced. So the bottled in bond, the Jack Daniel triple mash, and there's another one that are all 200 milliliters. And I thought initially, was this the opening to 200 milliliter bottles? Not 200 milliliters, 700 milliliters. I'm sorry, 700 milliliter bottles. Were we going to take that 50 milliliters off? I mean, I'm all for smaller bottles of anything because I have so much whiskey. It's just it's just like I don't like. I get a bottle of. I'm going to have this, and I love it, but it's going to be around for a while. Even at 700 milliliters, I just can't drink so much whiskey that it becomes a problem. So here it is. So it has no age statement, so at least 4 years based on bottled and bond regulations. Now, the mash bill is 60% Jack Daniels Tennessee rye, which is 70% rye, 18 corn, and 12 malted barley. Then it's 20% Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey, which is their classic mash bill of 80 corn, 12 rye, and 8% malted barley. But there's 20% of Jack Daniels American Malt, which is 100% American malt. So when you're looking at this, 70, let's see. So it's a triple mash, okay? But probably leaning heavy on the rye because it's 60%, 70%. And it's only 20%, 80% corn, and 20%, 100% malted barley. But the malt uh, is 108. It's close to almost like a split between the rye and the malt, with then the corn being the third mash bill there. And so the color is reddish copper, and you can see that. And like I said, it was $49, but this is really cool. Um, so it basically, let's see if I could do this. Here it is. The triple mash blended straight whiskey. Jack Daniels triple mash is the blend of three straight bottled in bonds. Yes, they all have to be bottled in bond, which is kind of cool because Jack Daniels doesn't release a lot of bottled in bonds. This is their bottled in bond. They have one plus they have this, and so that's kind of cool. And it was, as it says, each expression is distilled in Lynchburg, Tennessee, in the same distilling season, aged to the stipulations of the Bottled and Bond Act, then blended and bottled at 100 proof. It's a remarkable whiskey that can only be crafted by a complete distillery like Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels has a pleasant note of honey malt and soft oak, leading to a long-lasting, well-rounded finish. Triple mash. Okay, so the one thing that I did notice is that this is the first time that Jack Daniels has released anything on their malted barley, their single malt that they don't have that expression. So this is basically in that expression. So I wonder where I read that. I wanted to see, is it down here? Okay, gentle nose finish. Jack Daniels has been a lot like makers has operated when it comes to brand. Okay, let me just see if I could do. That is why. Tennessee whiskey and blend it with their shocking. They're more shocking. Their American malt, Who knew Jack Daniels made a malt whiskey, right? This is the first time they ever released an expression of their malt whiskey. So it's really kind of a cool, thing. I had that called up. So the notes that they pick up on this, and then I'll be doing them too, is dark cherry cola, marzipan, sweet flavors, to me, this is a lot different. It's a thicker malt fill, and it's at 100 proof, and then it's got rich oak and sugared plantains cap off a palate that gets better with every sip. Dryness being so this one is so unique to me, and I like it so much. The newly released JD 14 is really good. I tried to get it when I was at the distillery. They weren't releasing it that day. Sometimes you're there and you can, they'll let you, but there wasn't even, it sold out so hard that there wasn't even any there to taste of the 14. So what I want to do, I'm going to rinse out this Glen. Let's rinse it out pretty good. That's rinsed out. Let's go on the single malt. Did it stop recording? No, it's recording. Uh-oh. What happened? That should be. Why did it stop? All right. I got to figure it out. There we go. That's going to start it up again? Yeah. All right, folks. We'll just give a brief recap of it. Am I going? Yeah, I'm going. I lost the thing. We are getting welcome everybody. We are going to do the Jack Daniels triple malt, and I just gave a whole brief thing, but maybe I can brief it afterwards after we're done. But basically, it's made of 3 different malts: a rye, Jack Daniels rye, mash bill. Also, it's made of Jack Daniels regular mash bill, 80-12 8 barley, 80-12 rye. And then the last one is 100% American single malt. I mean, it's American malt. And who knew that they made a Jack Daniels? Oh, you have a couple Jack Daniels single malts. Oh, okay, Randy. So this was the first expression that they included in, but now they have it. So I'm going to put this in my glass, and we are going to do the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. They're in Louisville, Kentucky, with Amin down there. They're sponsored barrel bottle breakdown for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. The barrel bottle breakdown is made up of a Knox. You can get from 4 categories of aroma, taste, body, and finish. The aroma and the body are in a category of up to 4 Knox, and the taste and the finish are in a category of up to 5 Knox per category. If you think one of the categories is exceptional, I can give it a bit up so that it can get an extra, but it's only one category that you can give it an extra. Every once in a while, I broke the rules, but in this case, we're going to give this barrel bottle breakdown for Jack Daniels Triple Mash. I really believe that this is my overall favorite Jack Daniels of all of it. I've tasted a lot. I've tasted barrel proof. It all has. Randy was saying a lot of it has. I'm going to put some in the shot glass because I'm going to respect it. I pulled this from the tasting. It's little when we bought our stuff. I've got the hat right here. I really like this hat. It's kind of a cool hat. There's no doubt. But that's what it is. It's in there. I'll put that up there. But in the glass, let's check out the bottle. You can see that. Remember, check out www.scotchybourboncom ScotchyBourbonBoys.com for t-shirts and Glens. They're there, or contact me directly right here on Facebook. I'll send you it. Venmo me the cash, and I'll send you a t-shirt and a Glen. We love these Scotchy Bourbon Boys Glens. I love this to be able to do this. Oh, tricky. And you hold it up, and in the glass, it has thick legs as it drops back down. Long, thick legs. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, you kind of can in the reflection. That is some nice viscosity. That's one thing that I thought about this triple mash when you're dealing with the three different mashes. I mean, I don't know what this is so unique to Jack Daniels, considering they've been doing so much. What would you say? Um, they do so they just did Jack Daniels, then they came out with single barrel, then they came out with their barrel proof. But overall, it's the same mash bill, and it all has the similar thing going on. But I find it that this is something unique and different, and I really like it. So I'm a little bit biased to start off. So I am gonna take a sip. I mean, the rye, the bourbon, or the Tennessee whiskey, sweetness is amazing. It is sweet. It's right up there. It's the sweetest Jack Daniels product by a mile. And I don't, that malty flavor that single malts have. It's kind of, what is it? Let me do that again. I'm trying to think what cereal that is. I'm trying to say Lucky Charms. You pick up the grain of the barley. Oh, it's close. I'm trying to think what else is there. Let's try that again. It's delicious. The nose. Oh, I would have to I got to figure out with my nosing kit what those smells are. The sweetness is so good. All right. So there's a little bit of you would say the marzipan on the nose. It's chocolatey, and it's just the right, I mean, it just for me this just fits as far as a nose. It's only a $40 bottle of bourbon, but when you're looking for different, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's different. It's not like any Jack Daniels I've ever had. So there's upfront on the taste. It's hard for you to say they didn't add sugar. I feel like now it's something sweet, like a it's caramel but maple. So it goes kind of goes from caramel maple, then it pulls off uh an oak, somewhat of an oak flavor, like the wood of the barrel, a little bit of char, and then there's nothing harsh about it. With a almost goes cinnamon, like you had a breath mint, but then it's sweet, and then it's chocolate, but what kind of chocolate? Almost, I don't know if it's marzipan because that's bland to me usually. It's more like a dark chocolate. And the finish is medium, but the dark chocolate hangs out like, no, it's long. It just hangs out in the back. So there's no leather. It's like a dark chocolate hazelnut finish. Like dark, dark, but with a little bit of hazelnut to add the sweetness in. So that's kind of a cool. I'm like, you could see me. I looked at the thing. You could see me there, just thinking. I'll sit back up. So far, are we still? We're still going. So let's give this. Let's do the the barrel bottle breakdown of. Let's see. So I'm going to give this nose. Now there's a little pepper on that one. I'm going to give the nose a 3. 3 break knocks on the barrel. Now, I would say sugar smack cereal. Let's see. Almost. Yeah, I think that's closer than Lucky Charms there, John. Cheers, Matt. Good to see you. Um, let's go to the body. In the glass, it does amazing. And you're drinking it? If I could give it a 3.5, I would. The half is there. I don't know if I could give the body a 4, but it's 3. So it's definitely a 3 on the body. Now, this is the part where it's tricky for me. I think out of 5, I really like this. But this has the richness and goodness that I like, but I don't see it having. It's so sweet. It's really, really sweet. Like it's like you would think this was flavored. It's that good as far as sweetness. Um Taste, it's just not complex enough. Its complexity is that it has flavors of mixing a rye, a Tennessee whiskey slash bourbon, and then uh, American single malt all together. So the complexity is that I have a hard time picking out the flavors because they're not flavors that are normally there, but they are delicious. I got to give it 4 of 5 on the taste. That's what I'm going to do. Fix my I fixed the barrel this weekend. I did a whole new cleanup and everything on the so that everything behind, if you look, there's some new bottles back there, and there's not the same ones always, and I pretty much straightened everything up. It was clutter. I couldn't move around. Oh, there was a really cool spider down here too. I sucked that baby up. Wife thought it was a brown recluse, but I don't know, a brown recluse. That's funny. And then I look at John Rich sugar smack cereal with the frog. Yeah, I could see that. All right, so we gave it the finish is pleasant. You're talking about a nice dark chocolate, a sweet dark chocolate, not a dark chocolate. And there's a little bit of nutty hazelnut in there. That's a delicious finish that's surprising. And like I say, I absolutely love this. This is something that I go out of my way. If I see a bottle and I'm getting low, I'm going to buy another bottle of it. It's just something that is kind of special from Jack Daniels, and it's definitely highly recommendable. But the finish, I'm going to give a 4 to too. So we're looking at 14 out of 18 for a $40 bottle of bourbon or whiskey, blended whiskey. I mean, can you go wrong with that? I think that 14 out of 18 on, I wish there was a couple of the other guys on tonight, but they're not. But I picked this because I thought it was kind of special and it was a good thing to do and a good sequence into as we move that out. 14 out of 18, folks. Highly recommend Jack Daniels triple mash. Uh, I would say normally Jack Daniels for me is a 10 or a 12, depending on 8 out of 18. Not bad, but it's not my favorite. So there you go. 14 out of 18. All right. So let's start our beginner bourbon. So the way that I look at a beginner bourbon is people just getting into it. There's two types of beginners. One, somebody who has drank whiskey their whole life and they've drank Jim Beam and Jack Daniels and they've had stuff at the bar. They had some Maker's Mark, Wild Turkey 101, and they're ready to come into the lifestyle of, not drinking whiskey to get drunk, but drinking whiskey to um, appreciate it and taste it and, you know, kick back, relax, just do the whole bourbon lifestyle or whiskey lifestyle. That's one of the reasons why Scotch was so popular, in my opinion. I don't know anybody who just chugs Scotch or goes out and does shots of Scotch. You get a Scotch, it's because there's some value to it, and you're celebrating, and you're just having it. You're sipping, relaxing. That's what Scotch was, and now that's what bourbon is to me. So if you're a beginner going into the connoisseur, that's one thing. But if you're a beginner that's starting out, somebody who really didn't like whiskey and didn't drink a lot of whiskey, people who drank vodka, gin, rum, whatnot, these ones that I'm gonna discuss, and the one's gonna be controversial. Well, they might all be controversial, but there's what I started with. The the main thing of what I started with was Jack Daniels was all I was like, whatever. But what got me first was Basil Hayden. Now, this isn't Basil Hayden, this is Basil Hayden 10 year. So I'm kind of going out on a limb tonight and saying I would suggest Basil Hayden to, I think, anybody who wants to start. It's a great bottle, great design, nice cap. Basil Hayden is 80 proof, so you're not going to get overproofed. And the regular Basil Hayden is fantastic. But if I wanted to pull somebody in and then take them instantly where they'd be like really, really impressed, but it also is the right, what would you say? Just get a little water in there. The right thing, I would suggest to somebody if they could get it, Basil Hayden 10. One, it's a little bit more expensive than Basil Hayden. It's like in the 50, 60, 60, maybe 70. So it's a higher end bottle. But what 10 year is is Basil Hayden to me lacks a little bit of flavor where I want a little bit more flavor at 80 proof. Well, in my opinion, to start out, if you were going to start somebody out who was getting into the higher ends, or you're just starting out and you haven't, I think Basil Hayden 10-year is a fantastic one to start out. It's a perfect bridge. It gets you, you're gonna be paying a little bit more. You're not paying the 40, 35, $40. You're paying the 50, $60. And that's where whiskey is right now. So I really think that the bridge for somebody, all right, 79.99. All right. But in Ohio, it was 74.99, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I got it, when I got this bottle. So the nose on it is spectacular. It's bourbon. It's a Jim Beam product at 80. Anything higher proof in this mash bill from Jim Beam is Old Granddad. They don't want to. They said they're never changing Basil Hayden as far as its standard 80. Then the 10, it's 80. They're keeping it at 10-year and everything. But when you're talking about bottled in bond, Basil Hayden is Old Granddad. And that's the next level. That's why they don't change it, because they already have the brand in in another form. So this is going to stay the same all along. But there's also a reason why they're not changing Basil Hayden as far as Basil Hayden. Now they have Basil Hayden Smoke. They have Basil Hayden Toast, one of my wife's favorite. They have different expressions. They have dark rye. They have Caribbean rye. They've done all different expressions with Basil Hayden, but it sticks at this 80 proof. And, up until 6, 7 years ago, I'm telling you, 80 proof was more than enough proof for most people here in the United States. It just was. So, that one right there for me is a perfect one. If you want to start someone off and they're at your bar and they're like, whatever, you pull out Basil Hayden 10, I think you make. Yeah, they're no. Bottled in bond. The bottled in bond is Old Granddad, Walker. This is 80 proof, but bottled in bond, Basil Hayden is Old Granddad. Old Granddad becomes the mash bill of Basil Hayden when it's in a bottled in bond form. It becomes Old Granddad. That's what I was making out for that one. But you drink it, in my opinion, the 10-year has everything that you need, and it is people who are just starting on it, beginners. The word that they want to use is everything's too harsh. They want smooth. And in my opinion, I call it easy. And this is easy with flavor. That's what I want to say. Whereas a lot of time regular Basil Hayden, there's not as much flavor. So you can get somebody. I think most people, like if somebody drinks Jim Beam, I think this for them to get him into the sipping thing, that's great. If they've had Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, those are a little bit harsher. Um, and what does harsh mean? They got more pepper, they got more spice. That's a little bit hotter, a deeper Kentucky hug. That's what harsher is. When you're talking about easy, you're talking about you can taste the whiskey, and you can keep it in your mouth, and you don't get the pepper or the spice burning your burning your tongue or heating up your tongue, so you can't taste the flavors. I could keep that, and it's sweet. It's got that flavor, that nice bourbon flavor of, not too much caramel, a little bit of the basil, the Jim Beam peanuts there. It's just fantastic one to start off at. And that's the first one. The second one, it's another Jim Beam product that is bottled in bond. And when we talk, if you talk to Bernie Lubbers, who's going to be on the podcast coming up, there's not a lot of bottled in bond. Bottled in bond bourbons are the least produced bourbons in the world. So that is kind of cool. And this right here is Old Tub. Now, Old Tub is unfiltered. This is the original brand of Jim Beam's, Jacob Beam. This is what the Beams made for a long time. It was Old Tub. And this one's bottled in bond, 100 proof. Let me read the label. But this is another one. If somebody is a Beam drinker and they want to start to get in to another level, I really love Old Tub. Now, Old Tub is less easy. It's not harsh like Beam, but it's got a kick. So it's somebody who likes whiskey that then they don't mind the little bit of the bite. This has it. So this says, all right, before Jim Beam bourbon, the Beam family made Old Tub, an unfiltered bonded bourbon. Old Tub was the foundation for what would become the world's #1 bourbon. This limited edition bottle is a tribute to that groundbreaking whiskey. It comes on, it's not always on the shelf, but I get one my baseball draft is next Monday, and I will be drinking this Old Tub. And it's still got a cork. It's synthetic. And let's see what this does tonight. I'll just add a little bit of that. And once again, in my opinion, great to suggest to somebody, especially if they like Beam, but they're like, I just like Jim Beam. I like Jack Daniels. And you want to get them, you want to bridge them into higher end bourbons. This is the one. Also, you got Basil Hayden. I got one more. Yep. There's a little bit more. It's 100 proof. It's got a little bit of leather on it. Jim Beam with the add of leather. And this is more like just this was for a whiskey lover that would, the other comparison that I would use is Old Taylor small batch. But I'm going to tell you, Old Taylor small batch is bottled in bond. And it's these two, this is cheaper. This is like $24.99, where Old Taylor will run you about 50 right now, or 40 something. But Valiant Hannick said, "Did you ever try Melody Brothers?" I have. But not a beginner bourbon, that's for sure. So I'll say that the Old Tub has a little bit more of the bourbon flavor and the whiskey, but it's not complex. So you're going to be able to pick some of the flavors out for someone beginning. And this is something that I'd offer because they are able to pick these flavors out. And then you can kind of say, do you taste the little bit of caramel? Do you taste a little bit of peanut? Do you taste the leather on the finish? You can kind of, this is right forward. It's great for people who start out. But those two, and Basil Hayden and the 10-year. But my thing is someone, I believe one of the guys said tonight that they suggested Evan Williams bottled in bond. $20, it's good. And I admit, but I don't think Evan Williams bottled in bond is good for a beginner. And the reason why I say that is because Evan Williams bottled in bond, in my opinion, is a man's bourbon. And if you're trying to get someone into it and they've been drinking Jack Daniels or whatever, it might be a little bit too much. But this Evan Williams, and this is one of my favorite. It is, I want to say, let's just get right back at it. This is a blend. Again, it's called Evan Williams, I want to say Master Blend, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So it's bourbon, a blend of different bourbons, and it is 90 proof. Now it's 10%, 10 proof points lower than the bottled in bond. It is, I believe now, $80 a bottle. When I first started, I think it was $59.99. It's $60 a bottle, but it's up to 80. It might even be $99 a bottle, but it's only available at the Evan Williams Experience. But if I'm going to take somebody and I think about what to give them, which is a great beginner's bourbon that has flavor beyond its thing, I'm going with this master blend. It has what do we go with? Okay, we put it over there. It has a master blend of 5 various Evan Williams expressions. Each of these well-crafted bourbons have been married together to form a rare and unique bottling of bourbon. The Evan Williams family includes 4 different types of American whiskey types, all represented and expertly mingled to form a distinct quality bourbon worthy of Evan Williams' name. They have, I believe it's the 24 year, they have some of it, of the higher end bourbon that they sell very rarely. But this blend is, in my opinion, the perfect beginners. I understand the bottle's a little bit expensive, but if you're going to do it, if you can get this, and anybody who tries this, the flavor is unbelievable. It's sweet. The finish is good, and it is easy. Very, 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 for a 90 proof, this is a drinkable, fantastic introduction to what bourbon should taste like. I mean, I like Cave Hill. That's another one that I absolutely love, except once again, I don't think it's introduction to somebody because I think it's got too much punch. Most people that you want to get in, you want to start them off so they can taste the flavors, but you don't want it so peppery and spicy they can't. And they're basically, all they tell you is it burns, it burns. This isn't going to, none of these 3 are going to burn. All of them are going to be for different people starting out. This, in my opinion, someone who loves Scotch, you do this Basil Hayden 10 and you convert them over with that. Somebody who likes Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, and wants a little bit more, Old Tub's a great thing to bring them over as a beginner. But if you're talking about somebody straight up is coming and they say they don't like bourbon, you have them taste this. And in my opinion, you're going to basically start them off on their bourbon journey. So those are the 3 that I definitely consider, and like. So it's kind of cool. And these are my opinions. These are my suggestions. Tiny loves to talk. I also love to stop the recording and miss the whole thing. I will say, for everybody who came on, I just want to quickly redo what the mash bills are. I wonder if it's actually, probably I don't have to go on the website, but I will if I have to. A blend of 3 bonded whiskeys with pleasant notes of honey, malt, and soft oak, leading to a long, well bottled and bond. Yeah, that says that. A blend of American malt. Okay, so I'll give you the total breakdown real quick. And that's fine. I know people stick around for a sec. Let me just review this for the people on the podcast. I promised. Understand it just all of a sudden stopped and then you were back in. We're almost to the point, but I'm right there. I will tell you. So the Jack Daniels triple mash that picked up 14 out of 18 knocks in our barrel bottle breakdown. The mash bill is 60% Jack Daniels Tennessee Rye, 70% rye, 18% corn, and 12% malted in the Tennessee Rye. The mash bill is of the 20% is Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, which has a mash bill of 80% corn, 12% rye, and 8% malted barley, and 20% Jack Daniels American Malt, which, according to this, they hadn't released. This is their first ever time of releasing American Malt, and nobody even knew they did an American Malt, and it's 100% malted barley. Randy Ford has then informed us that E.H. Taylor barrel proof. Secondary, yeah, 200 max. But most of the time when I love, actually the barrel proof is fantastic. But what I wanted to say about this is that the American malt this is the first time it was released into anything in 2022. It is 2025 now, so they're still releasing it in this because this is the newest expression of the triple mash. I picked this up just recently at the Jack Daniels Distillery. Was hoping that day there was some 14, but there was not. But there you go. So, folks, let me know what you think. I am going to end this on everybody. I really appreciate everybody that's on YouTube, Facebook watching. If you guys want to hang out a little bit afterwards, I can. Um, we could keep talking, but I'm going to end this podcast for the audio. Just remember, let's see if I can get this up. Yeah, it's going to be shorter on the audio because I kind of blew it. So am I still recording? Yes, I'm still recording. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. So everybody, thanks for joining us. Remember, like I said, on Facebook and YouTube, if you guys want to hang on, but let me finish this up for the podcast tonight. www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys, these awesome blends, t-shirts. Contact me or order it off the website. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Remember that we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and also all the major podcast formats of Apple, iHeart, Spotify, mainly, but everything else. But however you listen or watch us, remember, like, listen, subscribe, and comment, like, listen, subscribe, comment, and leave good feedback. We love all the support you guys are giving us. Remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly, and make sure you live your life uncut and unfiltered. And little Steve-O is going to take us out. Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die. Oh, right. So we stopped recording on there. Let me quick do my magic. I'm still here on Facebook and YouTube for uploading. Man, sometimes, let's see, what are we going to call this? It doesn't matter. I'll just call it Jack 3. Save. Oh, it went to the documents. Anyways, all right, everybody. Anybody want to join me? I can send the copy link. Let me see if I can grab this. I will copy the invitation. Copy invitation. Anybody that wants to join me real quick, they can. I'm going to throw it up on the year, right? So that would mean I have to control. There it is. Boom. All right. If anybody wants to join me on the thing, the podcast's over. We can hang out for a little bit, talk a little bit. That's fine. I don't even know how to get it over to. Oh, that's fine also. If anybody doesn't want to join me, that's fine also. I'll just keep monitoring the comments. Thank you. Val, you're welcome for the recommendations. Yeah, of these are all three good ones. The Evan Williams one, man, is great. And then as far as the 14 out of 18 on this triple mash, oh, we got Randy coming in. Man, you got so many different ways to do this. That's pretty funny. I appreciate Randy for you coming on the podcast tonight. I know you're getting close to finishing up and doing all this stuff. Plus, it's good to have people on, and we really appreciate it. I'm going to stay on for another 10 minutes, but hopefully with the laptop you can get on. I don't know if Walker's coming on. Walker usually tries to come on, but either way, just hanging out. You guys comment whatever you want to pick my brain, I'll do it. Like I said, this Jack Daniels triple mash has been pretty cool. Anybody who wants to jump in, feel free. It's there in the comments. It's just join our Cloud HD meeting. So now I recognize there is that. So Walker got in before Randy did. We'll see. There you go, Walker. How are you?
Okay.
Go horizontal, man. Randy. Hey, Randy's just in front of bottles with a blurred background. Yeah, that's the triple mash right there. Single malt, I mean. Yeah, your background's doing some bizarre things. Are you on your phone? That was your laptop, right? Sound's not happening, Randy. There's the single barrel. I can hear Walker. Walker, it looks like where you are, it's light out. No. Did we lose sound from you, Walker? I had sound with you, Walker, to start off, but I don't got it now.
Wanted to just be.
Now I got it.
Yeah, I muted myself because I'm doing laundry, so I didn't want it to just be laundry sounds all the time.
Well, that's better than gas. Anyways, that was I mean, I think I'm going to do a podcast on challenge coins next. Because I never knew the original version of the challenge coin. You know what I mean? Where it came from. It was all the pilots that had the coins so that they could make sure that they were who they were. You couldn't get it. I got a challenge coin. Every year you get a challenge coin from Randy at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. But if you're a bourbon steward through Moonshine University, they give you a challenge coin for being going through their training, and then executive bourbon steward, and then the last one I got was from Bourbon Real Talk. When you participate, is requesting you to allow multiple partners to share. Okay, I'll allow. I don't know what multiple partners have, how that works, but we'll see. Oh, he's trying to do it on his phone, probably, right?
I just dialed in directly to my phone, so I don't know what he's doing that's different.
He's trying to do his laptop.
Yeah.
It said Randy's laptop.
Oh, okay.
But that was just click the video, right? Anybody who wanted to click? What were you sipping on tonight, Walker?
I was sipping on Maker's Mark.
Ah.
Let's see. I'm going to retest one bottle that hasn't been all that great to me. Let's see if I can make it sit still. A leaning tower of dishes and things I need to finish cleaning up at the end of this night.
Oh, I did a whole cleanup this weekend, so that was kind of cool. It was cool. Anybody on YouTube, if you're watching, if you have questions or comments, there you go. Redwood's Empire. Is Redwood Empire a bourbon or a whiskey?
I think it's a rye whiskey, but I'd have to check.
Well, Randy probably knows what Redwood Empire is. Do you?
Redwood Empire has many different brands, I should say. So they have like an Emerald Giant that's a rye whiskey. It would depend on which Redwood Empire they're talking about.
Okay. Set
They
up.
have over 6 different labels.
Okay.
They've got Emerald Giant, Screaming Titan, Lost Monarch, and a bunch more.
Okay.
I can't translate from YouTube because I can't copy and paste it from YouTube. If I could copy and paste the text, I could put it in Google Translate and translate it. Which you would think that. Let's see, Randy is trying to get in.
I know
he get the numbers. Yeah.
Okay, Randy chatted. Let's see what he said in the chat. I gotta see what he said. All right. Let's see. It's probably over here. He said, "I need to get the number to get into Zoom, please."
I'm just gonna text him the screenshot that I took. You just have to hit the more on the comment that you made. But I'll text him the screenshot.
Okay. Yeah, you click on the show more information.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago when I tried it, it wouldn't show up for a couple of minutes. I hope that's not what's happening to him. The message didn't show for about 5 minutes, and then it took me a little while.
Okay.
That was my delay when we had like 8 of us on. It took the message a little while.
Well, it says use USO server web, join our iCloud, but right there in the information it says show more information on this link. And then it's got right at the bottom it actually says pin. Right?
Yeah. Mine says meeting ID and password at the bottom of the message that you sent.
Okay.
Take my ice pack off my foot. See if I can go up to the bourbon room.
Okay.
Such as these. Well, this one that I didn't like is a little bit better. Let's see. See if I can get my bottle in the picture without messing things up. So I've had this one sitting on the shelf for about 2 years. It's only just now kind of getting to where I want it to be. I don't know if it's straight in the picture. It's reversed.
Yeah, I saw it. Ooh, someone else is joining us. I know it's you, Randy. I can't hear you, but hopefully I'll be able to hear you on that.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you. So now
I'm going to close this up. I've got a problem with my laptop that I've got to figure out because I got to use it for my dissertation.
Yes.
Tomorrow. So let me leave this meeting on the other one. And hopefully it doesn't kick me out of the other one.
Nope, you're out of one.
Okay.
And then rotate. Then just rotate your phone horizontal.
Did that help?
Now you're sideways.
Horizontal, sideways.
No, I mean you're like okay. It locked.
Okay.
It kind of like didn't flip. It just lock screened. But that's okay.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Oh, I see you. Yes. When you rotate your phone, yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
No.
Although
I can see you. What I was trying to show you, that one you're familiar with.
Yeah. I really like it. I mean, it's
Me too.
It's
that's why it's listed as one of the best in the world. This one, I don't know if you got this one or not.
No. Oh, is that the maple?
Yeah, the 27 gold, the gold.
Yeah, I had that, and I had the honey one too. And I had
probably a Jack Daniels honey somewhere.
And then I had that one, which was whatever. And then I had Sinatra, and all 3 of them I gave all 3 of them away.
Can't believe that. You should have given them to me. I love them.
Well, I'm not saying that I didn't like them. I just gave them to people who would very much appreciate it. They're single barrels. Some of those single barrels that those special releases were fantastic.
You know what this one is, right?
So that is the Coy Hill one.
That's 130 proof Coy Hill.
So
and I've got a bunch of these in different finishes. The Distillery series.
Okay.
This one's a rye.
Is it Is it in a plastic bottle?
No, it's a 375 glass. It's glass.
Okay. Yeah, Jack Daniels Rye doesn't do it for me.
Well, see, I love Jack Daniels Rye. And I got my girl that gets me my stuff got me this glass. I don't know if you can read it. It's a chaser.
Nice.
I'm not sure exactly what you do with that.
What do you mean?
I guess you pour beer in it. I don't know.
Yeah, beer with the chaser.
I've never done any of that. I'm a very traditional, neat guy like this.
Where? Nice glass. That looks like you actually have the Daniels triple mash in there because of it's so red.
This is the Sinatra. I believe.
The Sinatra. Yeah, I've had 2 bottles of Sinatra and gave them both away. Nice. I like dipping.
I bought 3 bottles of Sinatra last week for $100 a piece. Oh, sorry. Getting my face up too close.
Did you see that I can pick up the Woodford right now barrel, what do they call it? Batch proof 123.9. They dropped the price here. It's down to $129.99.
It's not a bad price. I've got that super. Got to put this back over here.
Well, if you can hold a backup bottle for me, Tommy, I'll pay you for it.
Well, I got to go get it. He just let me know. It's been sitting up here at $149.99 for like 4 months.
He needs to get rid of it.
Now that I bought I got the double oak for $199, and I bought one for Nash, and then I went and it was still there, so I bought one for myself.
Well, if you decide you need another one, I've got 7 more left, I think.
Yeah, you were telling me that. No, this is what I honestly so the barrel hey Ahmad, nice to see you. The bus tour is gonna be either Frankfurt or Louisville. If we go to Louisville, it's gonna be Whiskey Thief. I'm gonna try and do Amin and Old Louisville, and then fit Evan Williams' experience in the middle. And then if it's gonna be, and this is where I think this is one of my favorite bourbons. Whenever I go there, I buy this. I mean, that master blend is just like, it's got the right stuff to me. And it's the only place in the
one of those up last time I was there. I can't remember. The only Evan Williams I see right now is my Evan Williams honey.
Well,
but I think I've got another Evan Williams somewhere.
But that master blend, honestly, although when it first started, it was $59.99, and now it's, I think, $89.99 was the last time I was there. But it's damn good. I mean, this thing, it's one of my favorites. It is 90 proof. It drinks like 60 proof.
That sounds good to me. My screen says something about content is being sent to a third party. You know anything about that? Me?
You're sending it to my you're saying that it's content's being sent to Zoom off of Facebook. Okay. We're on Facebook because I'm sending it to Facebook. You're going from Zoom to Facebook. That's the third party. We're still live on Facebook. I'm gonna end the YouTube because we're down to a couple people. We were up there for a while, But I'm going to thank everybody for being on YouTube and hanging out tonight. I think we got decent numbers again, as far as I could see. Let's see what we got. So good night. See you on Thursday, everybody. Although now there's 10 people here. Now there's 12. All right, I'm not ending it. 12 people, I'll keep it going. Whoa, almost knocked that off. Wow.
I love, as you can tell, I love this one.
The Jack Daniels single barrel with the koi. Is that the rye, the single barrel rye? I got a really good one from Jack Daniels here as an Ohio pick of their barrel strength. That Ohio barrel strength was damn good. I brought that down from. Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, and they released like 3 or 4 barrels across the state. I'm trying. It's so funny. It's just like there's so many stories and how I'm involved with things, and the people I know that I can connect people up, because some people don't know what's happening in the industry that are in the industry, and then I go and find out who they are or what they are or whatever, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, thanks for the help. How you can add help to people I don't know. But anyways, so Randy, what did we talk? So I think, did we talk about doing a podcast in May?
We did, yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah, but it's your anniversary. We were talking about doing it maybe the Thursday before your anniversary on that Saturday.
Thursday, yeah, that's fine. And what? So I submit, just submit whatever you want to submit, a couple ideas, and then we'll go from there. Bring you on. But we got to get, since it's May, we got to get samples to me.
Yep, I'll do that next week. Let me ask, would you rather do something pretty exotic or something people could possibly get their hands on? Usually
it's like you want to do stuff that people could get their hands on if it's really, but I want to do other whiskeys, you know what I mean? We could,
Right.
you know, whether it's Irish, Japanese, Indian.
I mean, if I do this French buckwheat, nobody's going to get their hands on French buckwheat whiskey.
No. Yeah, you usually want to be able to do something that they see that they can try at least to get. So, you know, that's something that you probably want to do. So the people coming on, they can hear you, but they don't see you because I don't have it set up for that. So I guess I will now. It went down and up and up and down. So I probably picked up another 20, 30 viewers on on YouTube, but thanks everybody on YouTube for joining. All right, so we dropped down to 6. So I'm going to end it. Thank you everybody on YouTube, and good night. See you on Thursday.